Dwayne The Rock Johnson currently dominating the box office with his new film, San Andreas. It seems he's about to dominate Little China as well. According to The Wrap, Johnson is going to star in a remake of the 1986 classic Big Trouble in Little China. Johnson will take over the role of Jack Burton, the character played by Kurt Russell in the original. The script for the film is being developed by X-Men First Class writers Ashley Miller and Zack Stentz. Schnepp, what do you think about The Rock starring in a Big Trouble in Little China remake?
I absolutely love it. I mean, I know the internet was all pissed off yesterday complaining about how come you're going to make a remake, another remake of a film that doesn't demand a remake. And you forget that that movie came out over 20 years ago. I mean, it's a great film.
Almost 30 years ago.
Yeah, I know. I'm just saying. I'm just giving it a little bit of extra flavor there. Like, let's just say over 20 years ago, so that everybody crying about it getting remade, it doesn't take anything away from the original. I love that perspective on it. Kim Cattrall doesn't mind. She's staring at The Rock right there in that picture. I think The Rock is great, and that's a perfect role for him. Another transitionary role of an action hero that he can just bring his magic to. So I'm all for it.
I totally love this. I totally love it. I honestly cannot think off the top of my head about who would have been better to play Jack Burton than The Rock. I mean, when you look at the original, you consider it's got just the perfect amount, a dash of ridiculousness and a bit of over-the-topness and all this kind of stuff going in there. The one thing that I really, really hope is that somehow, I'm this type of guy who I'm like, if you're doing a remake, you remake it. Get rid of everybody in the original. I've said before I would make an exception for J.K. Simmons as JJ and J. Jonah in Spider-Man. I would also make an exception for James Hong as Lo Pan. Get James Hong somehow, some way. He doesn't have to play the same character, but get him somehow, some way back in this movie. I'd like to see that. Anyway, Christian, what about you?
You guys are always on the side of the fact, here comes a remake, let's do 80s, and I'm the guy going, we don't need to remake that. Well, that's not me today. This might be the perfect role for The Rock. I mean, at any role he's had, the perfect. Can you picture The Rock saying, you know what old Jack Burton says in a time like this? Who? Jack Burton. Me. Yeah. You could have him see, you could picture The Rock doing this, and he's finally able to do what he was so great in the WWE with that sense of humor, but being a badass and cracking the jokes back and forth. Jack Burton is a comedian. Yeah. He really, but he's a badass, and he's also kind of a screw up and a gambler. I would love to see The Rock play this role. Plus, when the Karate Kid's getting remade, stop. And even though I didn't mind the remake of it, stop. You don't need to do it. This is a movie that people who saw the original love it, but not a lot of people really saw this movie. A lot of people don't know what it is. Right. It's true. Like the cult classic people do and say it's a guilty movie pleasure. I love the original, but this is one I want to see for sure. And The Rock is perfect.
Schnepp, do you think that a modern retelling of it can work?
It
doesn't matter what you think.
Thank you. Yeah, I was going to actually mention that exact same phraseology when I was in London. Right, we got off the plane, we went right to Graham Norton, and a friend of ours, Jessica Hines, was doing the show, and the guests on the show was her, Snoop Dogg, and Dwayne The Rock Johnson. And he did that to Graham Norton. He's like, so, what do you think about this? Well, it doesn't matter what you think. It was so fantastic. And I was like, thank you for doing that to me. I can't wait to see this remade. Another thing that John Carpenter loved that he brought to America was the love of the kung fu fights, the insane karate fights that were only being done really at that time in Hong Kong. He brought that over here and got a lot of the stunt choreographers, a lot of the same fight teams. And this also introduced everyone to Raiden, because Mortal Kombat didn't exist yet, and this movie had that guy with the electricity, and everybody was like, that's so cool, let's make a character out of him, Raiden. Yeah. So now we're going to have, at least we'll get in more of an extended fight scene, because remember, those guys just kind of showed up, some electricity happened, and they got defeated pretty quickly. So.
You say that too, and it's really important who they get for director on this too. What about Gareth Evans? To do Raid. How awesome would that be to have him do, because he can blend that amazing stuff from the Raid and Raid 2, but taking that humor and he does something a little different but still the same.
That would be
that's a great suggestion.
That's an awesome suggestion.